I'm Matt Fontana, and as always, take it easy. There's something that just keeps on me with the Browns as they continue their search for a head coach. It's been wide. It's been vast. They've had double-digit interviews. As pretty much everybody has in the NFL at this point. But there's something about this team. There's a statement that I'm gonna put Ryan on the spot here coming up in a second, because there's a statement that has been said about this team, about Andrew Berry, about Kevin Stefanski when he was here over and over and over again. And I think it's kind of rearing its ugly head as the Browns go down this path of finding their next head coach to lead this team to prominence. God, I hope. And boy, do we have a lot of candidates that we got to parse through. Speaking of candidates, it is time on this show. We will get to award-winning, in my mind, our coaching carousel. We did it on last year's show. We will bring it back this year. We will run through all 9 of the head coaching openings. One of them is already spoken for, and to be fair, Ryan and I both picked the guy that's going to a job. We picked him Wednesday night, so we knew that already. We'll run through each of the jobs. We'll see how it goes. Cavs! Nice win. Why does Darius Garland got to get hurt again? Why? Why do the basketball gods have to do this to us? We'll touch on some Cavs coming up. We got to remedy our 0 for 1. I'm already getting crap. We started the season 0 for 1 on the grid. So we'll remedy that. We'll get back to 500. We got another playoff parlay coming up with our friends at FanDuel. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. So happy to have you alongside. I know you're probably watching this on Friday on The Rock, Thursday nights on our YouTube side of things. But man, the weather. Stay safe out there. Don't need to go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Sit on back, enjoy our show, and we're happy to have you alongside this week. Presented by our great friends at FanDuel, Physicians Ambulance, and Garage Beer. All right, I'm putting you on the spot here. What's the statement, Ryan, that has been said about this organization under Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and in a way, Paul DePodesta? There was a statement that people used to love to say about this team. You got it.
Was it that it was and there's multiple ways to put this.
Sure.
Was it a think tank / brain trust?
They're the smartest guys in the room. Remember, people used to always love to say that. Like, they think they're the smartest guys in the room. And when you go the wave that the Browns did with the analytics, and again, everybody uses it. I'm not saying that the Browns are groundbreaking in any way, but like, they used to sometimes overthink things. And as they get into this coaching search, that you are not a desirable destination, there's a lot of candidates to go through. I'm getting these vibes that they're trying to be the smartest guys in the room, and they're trying to go out and make some big splash hire. Trust me, I want a good head coach. This team will go nowhere without a quarterback and without a coach. Go look at any of the teams that made the playoffs. What do they have? A good coach and a good quarterback. Well, Nick Sirianni. Yeah, that's all right. No there. But that is what the Browns have searched for forever. And we got glimpses of it with Baker and Stefanski. And even when you made the playoffs with the 5 quarterbacks, like, you believed in Kevin Stefanski. Here we are, and I just don't want the Browns to get too caught up in what they're looking for. This eventually is going to come back to me talking about Grant Udinski. So why I'm getting this vibe, and I get that other people are interviewing Udinski. People don't know he's a Jacksonville offensive coordinator. He's 30 years old. We'll talk about him. But like Nate Scheelhaus, right? He is a pass game coordinator, right? And now he's getting all these interviews. And I'm not saying that anybody the Browns have interviewed have been way out of left field, that nobody else is interviewing. You have this pool, and everybody's just kind of picking and choosing different guys out of the pool to interview. And understand that these interviews aren't always necessarily about the head coaching job. You interview these guys to say, if we hire somebody else, would you like to come in as the offensive coordinator? Would you like to come in as the defensive coordinator? Who's going to be our special teams coordinator? We'll figure that out. Like, all those are just interviewing and meeting people and networking, I guess, if you will. But, like, do you feel like that there's been some steam picked up on Grant Udinski lately? Let me tell you who he is. And it's going to, I start this and it's going to come pretty apparent that that is not a guy I want as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry. He is 30 years old. He's been in the NFL for 5 years. I'm not ready to make that guy a head coach. Well, Matt, Sean McVay was only in the NFL for 7 years. Yeah, he was a play-calling offensive coordinator in Washington for several seasons. Grant Udinski has not had a position of consequence in the NFL. He's been assistant quarterbacks coaches and now a non-play calling offensive coordinator. Now, head coach, here you go. I'm sure Grant Udinski's a genius. I believe that he is very bright. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about walking into a locker room, dealing with players, motivating players, dealing with guys that make 10 times the amount of money that you do, that have been in the NFL double the amount of time that you have. How are you going to handle that? And I'm not giving him maybe the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he'll be great at that. I don't know. It's just, I think this is too big of a spot to try to swing for a guy that, well, in 2 years, he might be the next up-and-coming head coach. You better get him now. Why? What's the rush? This team, the Browns, they're probably not going to be very good next year either. I think you're staring down the barrel of 5 or 6 wins. Sorry. That's the situation that you're in right now. So if you want to put a guy like that in that position, there better be instant success, because you need to sell this to that locker room that this is the right guy to get behind. Outside of all of the accolades that you want to look at a head coach, the number one thing you have got to have? Belief. Belief. If you have a locker room that doesn't believe in their head coach, you're going to get Kevin Stefanski'd. You can be a good coach. You can do all these things. You can be the right guy, call these plays, do whatever. If you have a locker room that doesn't believe in their head coach, you're wasting your time. And the thing is, about an unproven guy, where do you get belief? Success. I don't think that's going to come out of the gate like that. I'm so worried. And I'll say the same thing about Nate Scheelhaus. And, I'm going to lean towards guys that have done it. Mike McDaniel, Jim Schwartz, Harbaugh's not coming here, we know. Like, there's not too many experienced guys tied up. Like Matt Nagy, he's been a head coach. I think he's going to get a job somewhere else. And I'm not saying I'm putting up blinders. And I'm saying, well, just go hire Mike McCarthy. He's won a Super Bowl. No. I'm not doing that either. Like, it's never just one thing. So as I stack up all these reasons to like this coach or not like this coach, I'm going to default to a guy that's done it before. The Haslams have hired 6 coaches in their time. 6. 4 of them have been first-time head coaches. One of them worked out. That was Kevin Stefanski. I just think with where the Browns are at, the situation they're in, I need somebody who's done this before. I don't need somebody trying to learn on the job when we're going through this huge transition period for this franchise. And, shout out to the guys at the OBR and Garage Beers. I was on their podcast this week, and we were talking about, Ryan, at best, you only have 5 more years of Myles Garrett. Like, you need to be maximizing this situation. Your defense is set and ready to go. Another reason we'll get to Jim Schwartz later. Like, everything is ready to go over there. I can't waste any more time. And that's just been the narrative over and over. When you had Josh Cribbs, when you had Joe Thomas, when you had Joe Hayden, when you actually had good players, like, you're just wasting your time. And where we sit today. The bias against Udinski, I'm sorry I have it. I'm not, like, there's several that I don't want, as they've run. I don't want Tommy Rees. I'm sorry. I'm fine if it was an OC. He's out for me. I'm out on Udinski. I don't want Scheelhaus either. I just need somebody that's done this a little more than what they've done, Ryan. That's just that's my parameters as I sit down. Now, the problem on this is what? Andrew Berry's running the show. This is his gig, man. And the Haslams hopefully are letting him do that. But, dude, if I'm the Haslams, is that not a tough sell to go, as a guy's 30 years old, he's been in the NFL for 5 years and, been assistant. Not even like a high-ranking assistant. He's just kind of been some assistant things. I don't know, man. It's a tough sell to me.
Well, let me try and flip it on the head for you. And I'm
Please
not completely sold on Grant Udinski. Otherwise, I'm pretty open to the candidates that we've interviewed so far and some that we haven't. But you mentioned, Myles Garrett, you have 5 years in the prime, obviously. He's getting older. Like, that's when you need to maximize it, obviously. This offense clearly has no direction, and we're looking for somebody to come in and set it. Well, maybe you need to go out of the box in a Grant Udinski hire. And I get it, only 30, just turned 30, matter of fact. He'd be the youngest head coach in NFL history. But I think it's 11 months when Sean McVay was hired. He was nearly 31.
Who did he beat before?
Remember, Andrew Berry, at the time he was hired in 2020 by the Browns, was the youngest GM ever hired in the NFL. So maybe he believes in that young, up-and-coming stature.
Well, real quick, who did Sean McVay beat to be the youngest head coach in NFL history? Who was the one before that?
I'm not sure.
Lane Kiffin. when he got the job with the Raiders. He was like
certainly didn't work
32.
out.
He was
But
like 32.
Grant Udinski does obviously
How'd that
have
work
success. Never been in this type of role. Was the assistant OC, assistant quarterbacks coach in Minnesota. He saw Sam Darnold have that career resurgence. Goes to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has the best year of his career. People speak highly of him. Kevin O'Connell spoke so very highly of.
Is that clip not getting played everywhere?
Of Grant Udinski.
The car wash thing. Has everybody seen that clip where Kevin O'Connell said hiring Grant Udinski?
Interviewing Grant was like interviewing a guy who could build a car from scratch for a job at a car wash. They had their OC in place in Minnesota. They had to let him go interview. Liam Cohen, obviously a great offensive mind, clearly believed in Udinski enough to come be his OC. 2 career resurgences, and Sam Darnold a resurgence in some sort of way with Trevor Lawrence getting to what they thought he was finally going to be when he was drafted their number 1 in Jacksonville. So, Matt, is it the time to do that safe hire, or is it time, because of the Browns have such a good player, Myles Garrett, and the defense is set, that you need to go out of the box and hire a guy who you think can make magic out of nothing?
And you could say, well, we're going to keep Jim Schwartz, and he's going to help. Okay, well, Jim Schwartz, it's like, remember when Flacco came in and he's like, I'm not helping these rookies. That's not my job. That's not Jim Schwartz's job. His job is to keep this defense where it's at, not help. I mean, again, it's not like he's going to sit there and be like, F off. I'm not helping you. Like, I'm sure there's going to be some overlap, and they'll bring in those phony senior offensive analyst guys and former head coaches to like help him along if that's the route that they want to go. I think I can finally surmise like where I'm at with the Browns coaching hire, and it's this. I'm sick of growing pains, man. I'm sick of growing pains. And this team is one giant growing pain, right? You had to deal with the growth of Shedeur Sanders. You had to deal with the growth of Dylan Gabriel. You had to deal with the growth of the rookies that are playing everywhere. And a lot of them played really well. Like, I want stability. We all crave that. And it's never going to be that easy. You could hire Jim Schwartz and this thing could go up in flames. I understand that there's no guarantee with any of these guys. There's no Ben Johnson this year. And the other thing that people have got to remember, and I remind myself of this, the job they're walking into. Why is Liam Cohen the catch rear end right now? He walked into Trevor Lawrence. He walked into an offense that had a bunch of players. They just weren't playing well. I don't see those guys on this team. So that's my other thing. You're coming in. It's not, the hard stuff is going to be at the start. Right out of the gate, for whoever the head coach is, the hardest stuff is going to be next year. Do you have somebody that can deal with that? Do you have somebody that is not going to lose that locker room over a short period of time? Well, I don't want to spoil. We'll get to the carousel.
Well, Matt, the one thing I'll say is, and to your whole point, though, wouldn't it almost be beneficial for the Browns to bring
my shoes are squeaking.
To bring in Grant Udinski, who is supposedly going to be this next genius offensive coordinator turned head coach, see if he can make magic out of nothing with the Browns, and if he does, then you go ahead and draft your quarterback in 2027, and you're even ahead of the curve. And other side, it doesn't work out. Well, guess what? Andrew Berry's probably gone. Grant Udinski's probably gone. And then you're starting for a new regime from scratch.
Well, and that's the thing with Udinski, for as young as he is, maybe that buys Andrew Berry a little more time. Because you say, oh, he had to get his feet wet, and he had to go. There's only one thing the Browns can do right now, and is be all in with Andrew Berry. So you might not like that out there, but at least they have gone all in with Andrew Berry to make this decision.
Grant Udinski or Dan Pitcher?
I don't want Pitcher either. Same thing. To add him to the same thing. What has Dan Pitcher done in the NFL?
Grant Udinski or Aiden Durd?
Udinski. You got me. You did. You got me. You got me. I mean, Dirty's the same thing. It's like, man, look at that defense under Mike McDonald, ready to go.
Udinski or Todd Monken?
No, not Todd Monken.
That's what I'm saying.
When Todd Monken, and he's going with Harbaugh, but like when Todd Monken came out and said that he didn't have a good relationship with Lamar Jackson, I go, he said the quiet part. Don't say that. Your franchise quarterback, the number one guy that is associated with your success as a coach, and you admit, yeah, I don't really have a good relationship with him. I'm not saying Lamar's an easy guy to get along with from everything that's coming out of Baltimore right now. Don't say that. Don't ever say that. No, I'm out of Monken. No, you're right. I mean, I'd take Udinski over Pitcher. I'd take him over Dirty. I would take him over Monken. There, you got me. You're right. You got me. Udinski's not the bottom of the list for me. He's not. But he's also not near the top. Speaking of of that. Let's get to the carousel. I'm so excited for this. So we're going to go around. Ryan, I have not seen Ryan's selections.
Yes.
He's seen mine. I sent him mine. We're going to go through all 9 of the coaching hires. We know one is now done and official, but hey, we already pegged that one. That was an easy one. So we'll get to that coming up right here. Stay with us. Fontana Show on Big Play, presented by our great friends at Physicians Ambulance. Folks, they are hiring. New year, new you, new career. EMT, paramedic. And I want to talk to a very probably specific group of people out there. It's people that work municipal, city. You work for Avon Lake Fire. You work for Streetsboro. You work for Stowe. You work for Medina. And obviously, you know your schedule, 24 on, usually 48 off, whatever it might be. And you're thinking about just some extra cash in the new year. Physicians Ambulance hires part-time. And you could go work event medicine, all the events going on around downtown Cleveland. You could go work skilled patient transport, organ transport. They have so many different things going on at Physicians Ambulance. The growth with this company has been immense. Really, dude, I've known Jason almost 10 years now. And I've seen this company. His grandparents started this company in the 70s. He owns it. His family owns it now. And the forward thinking of Jason for this company has been incredible. And they start with their employees. They are one of the companies out there that I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, they start with their employees. And they know their employees are literally the lifeblood. Bad pun because it's ambulance work, I get it. They're the lifeblood of the company. They have advanced protocols. They have advanced care capabilities. They invest in you. They have managers that have your back. You have one of the newest fleets of vehicles that's fully stocked when you're out there to go out for your shift. They've got it all for you at Physicians Ambulance. And again, they're hiring for the right reasons. It's because they're expanding. Like Jason, the guy would take over the whole state if he could. From an ambulance standpoint. Like, the growth has been immense. I knew it was just headquartered in Brecksville. They had a couple satellites. How about now? Still Brecksville, North Ridgeville, Menor, Kent, Warren, Ashland, Worcester, and Columbus. It's 8 spots for you. 8 spots. You're near one. Dude, when I started, I think they only had 3. They only had 3. That just tells you everything you know about Physicians Ambulance. They're growing, and they want you to be a part of it. PhysiciansAmbulance.com. Apply today and help them continue to set the standard at Physicians Ambulance. Get to the carousel. In a couple of weeks, Ryan, we will have a scorecard on this. We're already 1 for 9. We already got 1. The carousel comes your way next.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
All right, here we go. We're going to call our shot for the 9 head coaching openings, including the Cleveland Browns. We'll save this show. We'll see how we did in a couple weeks. He's Ryan Tyler. I'm Matt Fontana here on the Fontana Show, part of Big Play. Catch us Thursdays, 7 o'clock on the YouTube side of things and on Twitter. And Fridays, 4 o'clock on The Rock, which we love. Dude, The Rock programming, man. They got it all. They got high school basketball. They got some Cavs games, the Monsters on there. I think I got a little high school wrestling coming up for that. You know, I used to call high school wrestling.
Did not know that.
I used to be a play-by-play voice. I used to do all the Parma schools. A lot of fun. So we're on The Rock on Fridays, and as always, presented by our great friends at FanDuel. Hey, jackets. You see my nice jackets parlay the other day?
Did it hit?
A nice little one. Makes up for all the Cavs ones I've been missing. But we can't bet on the coaches in Ohio because we don't have those prop bets on there. But if you're out of state, I don't know. Maybe you can get a bet in there for all the head coaching hires there. It is time. So here's how it's going to work. Or Ryan, you explain. You are the mad scientist behind it.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna
perfect.
unveil our picks for each of the 9 vacancies. I'll go first, unveil mine,
Please.
explain a little bit. You'll do the same, and we'll compare them. Now we've got a lot of the same candidate pools. I think there's one job that we don't have, but a lot of them we have mixed and matched. A couple we matched on, Matt. So
Nice.
Shall we get into it?
Let's do it. Las Vegas. So let's start with the Raiders, right? You're gonna get Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
I can't believe Dante Moore went back.
I can.
I mean, I guess there was a lot of scuttlebutt late, and it is the best for him, but also you don't want to go to the Jets. So you got a bit of a meddling owner. You've got Mendoza, you got Genti, you've got Bowers. You need to fix that defense up. I actually think this is a pretty attractive job. I do think this is a pretty attractive job. Who'd you pick?
Already, my head coach of the 2026 Las Vegas Raiders is going to be Clint Kubiak.
Oh, nice pick.
I'm going offensive here. I think when you draft ultimately Fernando Mendoza, you want a guy who's had success with quarterbacks in the most recent years. Not a huge jump from Seattle down there to Las Vegas. I think Clint Kubiak can make some magic work with Fernando Mendoza. You got Brock Bowers, you got Genti, you got the offensive pieces. Tom Brady is helping find this next head coach. I think he's going to like what he's seen out of Kubiak. Clint Kubiak, head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I agree. I think Kubiak's going to get a job. I've maybe got him at another place coming up here a little bit, but I get a lot of what you're picking up, and especially you draft a young quarterback, you want to pair them with that young offensive mind. But I go to the other side of the football, and I'm going to go Robert Saleh. You're right, the Brady factor in this, the 49ers thing, I just think there is a connection there, and it seems more of what I think the Raiders want to be, because they've not shied away when they had Pete Carroll, even when they had Antonio Pierce. Right, it was Pierce, right? Yeah. They had more of that CEO type of thing, and I think Saleh is going to be a good coach. I think he learned a lot on the Jets thing, kind of comes back to the Browns thing. How many coaches are better off their second time around? I think that's going to be Robert Saleh. I think he's actually one of the more underrated coaches in this cycle, and I think he finds his way to Las Vegas.
I think that'd be a great hire for them. You might see Robert Saleh somewhere else on this list for me. We move on, Matt, to the Miami Dolphins, moving on from head coach Mike McDaniel. And the next head coach for the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion, will be Jeff Hafley.
Okay.
You go from an offensive guru in Mike McDaniel. I think Jeff Hafley is kind of the complete opposite. He's been called the anti-Stefanski. I think Mike McDaniel has some similarities with Kevin Stefanski. I think they go a different route. Jeff Hafley isn't going to give you any of that kingpin coach speak that we see out of Mike McDaniel. I like what he's done in Green Bay. Obviously, losing Micah Parsons, you see their stats go a little bit down the later half of the season. But I think they need a little bit of a cultural reset. You bring in a tough guy like Jeff Hafley to fix the Miami Dolphins.
I think Hafley was one of the hardest ones for me because I wanted to place him. A lot of these guys, you look at this list, you're they're getting a head coaching job, without a doubt. Hafley was one that there's been so much discussion and smoke about him that I wanted to put him somewhere. But it wasn't here, but I agree with one thing for you. I'll take defense too. Give me Jesse Minter. Here's the reason. Michigan. Stephen Ross is a huge donor to Michigan. They're not going to get John Harbaugh. They tried. Okay, well, what's the next best thing? Jim Harbaugh. Who's his guy? Jesse Minter. I think there's going to be a lot of conversation between those two and a lot of Jim giving, the accolades, if you will, to Jesse Minter to go take that Miami job. I agree. I think they're better off for a defensive one. They tried the offense. That, get rid of Tua, kind of fix things up there. So we'll both go defense. I'll go Jesse Minter down there to Miami.
Alrighty, let's move over to the Tennessee Titans. They have Cam Ward in place, some defensive pieces there as well. My prediction for head coach of the Tennessee Titans in 2026. Hey, he's here again.
Hey,
Jesse Minter. Kind of like the opposite, like you said. You had the offensive mind you tried with Brian Callahan. I did want to pair him with a sexy coordinator, similar how I did with Clint Kubiak and Fernando Mendoza. Didn't find one here. Ultimately, this was one of those ones where I think Jesse Minter ultimately will get a job. Couldn't necessarily find the best place for him. Threw him here by the Titans by default, but I think the match works there.
For me, I actually had to look this up because I had to remind myself of the reason that I picked the guy coming up. I think with Tennessee, they, like the Giants, had such a jump on this. It's interesting to see that they don't feel any further ahead than any of these other teams that waited, right? I'm going to go offense on this one, and I'm going to go Matt Nagy. And the reason for this is Borgonzi, who's the general manager there, he's got a tie to Kansas City. He's got a tie to Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, I'm going to put in the same breath as Robert Saleh. I think they're going to be a lot better off the second time around. Nagy was a lot like Kevin Stefanski. Came out with Chicago, had Mitch Trubisky, where they go 12-4, coach of the year into the playoffs, and then it just fell apart from there. You go back, he went home, Andy Reid. It's like a lot of guys that go back to Sean McVay or whatever. Go home, get yourself right. And I think he's going to be much better off there in Tennessee. Offensive mind to go ahead with Cam Ward. Obviously, I don't want to say you see Cam Ward, or Mahomes with Ward, but I think there's a fit there. And especially with the GM, I think it's going to be Matt Nagy there in Tennessee.
All right. Alrighty, Matt, we move on to the Arizona Cardinals. Moving on from Jonathan Gannon. Might have seen this name before, Matt. On your list, my head coach for the Arizona Cardinals in 2026 is one Robert Saleh.
Okay.
They went the defensive coordinator route, promoting Gannon from the Eagles. They captured him. I think they probably want to go down that road, Matt, where they take a head coach looking for his second time around, similar how you had Robert Saleh going to, I believe it was the
Raiders.
Yes. Some great defense defensive pieces there in Arizona. I'm not sure that they're willing to go take that offensive piece because they don't really know what they have in a quarterback right now. I think they want somebody in here to come set a culture, set a tone, and I think Robert Saleh is the man for the job, staying on the West Coast.
I'm going to have a guy that's staying in the West Coast, and just like Saleh staying in conference, I think that's Clint Kubiak's job down there. And
we flip-flopped.
We did. We flip-flopped because you're right. Exactly. You had him for the Raiders. I had Saleh, and then the Cardinals, we had to flip there. And I'm interested to see once we're done if we have like the same 6 guys that all get jobs, but just different spots. Kubiak is one I'm pretty sure is going to get a job somewhere. And they aren't out of the Kyler Murray business yet. They can't be. And I just think, again, you had defense, let's go offense. And I think Kubiak is one of the safer picks there on the offense. And a guy that's like, obviously with his dad and the trees, like he's got all the checks that you have. I don't want to say that's going to be like a marriage of convenience, but that's just one where I think all the other jobs are going to start getting just kind of picked up, and I just think eventually Kubiak's going to find his way back to Arizona, so I'll take him there.
Alrighty, we move on to the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say, Matt, because we did.
We both
predicted this pre-show when we did this
happen.
yesterday. It was not official. However, this one was pretty obvious. Matt, your thoughts, John Harbaugh to the New York Giants?
It was one of the best jobs. You have Jackson Dart. You're getting Malik Neighbors off of injury. There's some good things to feel about there. You've got, now that we know what the money was, he got the money that he was looking for $20 million. And I know he's highly paid with Baltimore. But now there's reports that he's going to have some roster control with this thing, too. Man, is Joe Schoen pissed about that. I mean, how he kept his job, I don't know. But I just thought there were too many ties there. I know there were a lot with Miami. I don't think there was any world he wasn't going to go to the Giants. And I think the meetings where, listen, he wanted to keep pressure on Miami, where he said, I'll interview with Atlanta. I'll interview with Miami coming up. I think that was keep pressure on the Giants to get what he really wanted. But that told you all he needed to know when he interviewed with them first. He had his pick of the litter. He went there first because that's the job that he wanted. He kept pressure on them with these other jobs. They gave him what he wanted. Bing, bang, boom. He's head coach of the Giants.
I think it was the most attractive job opening this cycle, the most attractive head coach candidate this cycle. Just made sense that they're paired together.
Makes perfect sense.
Well, we move on to the Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty South. They move on from Raheem Morris. Matt, we just had a match. Could we have it this time? My head coach prediction for the Atlanta Falcons in 2026. Oh, boy, are we familiar with this head here in Cleveland. Kevin Stefanski.
Hit mine. Hit him, too. Let's go. Kevin Stefanski. Yes.
Listen, Kevin Stefanski didn't work out here in Cleveland, but I think outside of the NFL circle here in Cleveland, they do understand Kevin Stefanski can be a great offensive coach. Certainly, he needs the pieces there. What more pieces do you need than Bijan Robinson, Drake London? Hopefully, they get Kyle Pitts back there for the Falcons. We'll see what he can do with Michael Penix if that's the route that they still decide to go down because of the injuries. But I think Kevin Stefanski's a great fit down there in Atlanta.
I say this outside of like Harbaugh, and I feel confident about like Kubiak and Saleh. There is no doubt in my mind that Kevin Stefanski is going to be a head coach. There is no doubt. So as I was piecing this through, like Miami makes a little bit of sense or whatever. I think this is going to be Atlanta, who's going to miss on Harbaugh, obviously, and then Arthur Blank's going to go for a big swing here. And really, when you think about it, Kevin Stefanski is probably the second best coaching candidate in this cycle behind John Harbaugh. So Arthur Blank's going to do what is needed to get Kevin Stefanski to take that job. And exactly for what you laid out, Ryan, I agree. I think it's an attractive job for Kevin Stefanski. I really do. Again, what you think of Michael Penix, who knows? We'll see. But I think that's a perfect spot for him. Like, that is one that I feel, outside of Harbaugh and the Giants, that's one I feel very, very strongly about, is I think Kevin Stefanski's going to get that Atlanta job.
I would agree. Well, we move to our AFC North, Matt. The Baltimore Ravens, long time. The John Harbaugh era is over in Baltimore. I predict their next head coach in the 2026 season will be, I alluded at this a couple shows ago, I believe, one, Cliff Kingsbury.
Wow! Hit it!
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, wow. I thought that was one that was going to throw you for a curveball.
No, Matt, because I did mine before you sent me yours, and I noticed the matches. I said
love it.
You go from John Harbaugh, kind of look at this young, sexy OC from Washington. You saw what he was able to do with Jaden Daniels. Your offense this year for Baltimore certainly didn't live up to the hype. I know the defense didn't either. A lot of that was injuries. Offense, I think you're looking for that new philosophy. How can you really get the Lamar Jackson experience every single week of the season like we've been prior to? I think they go for the sexy young coordinator to pair with Lamar Jackson and Cliff Kingsbury.
Don't you think Cliff Kingsbury seems like a guy that could get to Lamar too? And I know people are like, yeah, he plays video games and he does all this other stuff. The Ravens have very clearly said, we're all in on Lamar Jackson. So instead of trying to change him, why don't you just go with it? And I think Cliff Kingsbury seems like a guy that will just go with it. we talked about it a little on last week's show, the dysfunction with the Commanders right now. They did not want Cliff Kingsbury gone. Those players, Jaden Daniels, did not want Cliff Kingsbury out of that job. And I think they made a massive mistake getting rid of him, and I think Baltimore's going to scoop him up. There's a lot of good ties, I think, to that job there. I really thought I was going to get you on that one. You and I right here, man. I love it.
Three matches in a row, Matt.
Oh.
We stay in the AFC North, the Mike Tomlin era after 19 seasons. It's over in Pittsburgh.
I don't want to. I'm going to say this before I see yours. I think there's a stone cold locker.
There is, in my life, really watching football, been one coach in Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
The next one in my prediction, the 2026 head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, starting in a new era, is one Chris Shula.
That is correct. You are correct, sir.
First of all, Matt,
you
he
are
just
correct.
Looks like a Pittsburgh Steeler.
He is a Steeler.
They hired
He's
the
a
DC and Mike Tomlin. It's all coming full circle, guys. Chris Shula breathes.
Yes.
Looked like he would breathe AFC North football. I think he's the perfect fit to go from one Mike Tomlin to the next in Chris Shula, Matt.
I think there's way too much discussion about him going to Pittsburgh. And obviously the tie would be his grandfather, who obviously coached in Miami and had a very good run down there. People want to tie that there. I don't think there's much that the Steelers, that seems to just be another one where write that in pen. I think Chris Shula to the Steelers is happening. It's going to happen as soon as the Rams are out. Not a great job. You know, the debate is what job is worse, the Steelers or the Browns? Because both have really good defenses. I could say that Pittsburgh's got better offensive weapons, and at least they made the playoffs, and I know it's a lot of that with Mike Tomlin and all that kind of stuff, but they're very similar jobs. I don't think they're attractive on either right, but yeah, I think Chris Shula to the Steelers 100%.
Matt,
all right.
That was plenty of matches in a row. Can we end on another match? The final reveal, the Cleveland Browns. I predict the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns in 2026 will be, we talked about him earlier, Matt. I'm going Grant Udinski.
Wow.
I think that they do it, Matt. I think they go the youngest head coach in NFL history. They go to try their next Sean McVay as they enter this new era, get him in place with hopefully a quarterback in 2027 once they move over to Brook Park. Andrew Berry was hired as the youngest GM in NFL history. I think he does the same with the head coach and makes Grant Udinski, the quarterback whisperer, try to come to Cleveland to fix this.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I had a switch because originally I had Mike McDaniel for my pick. And I thought, and I still think Mike McDaniel's a real candidate for the Cleveland Browns to take this job. I had a bit of an epiphany this morning. And I went Jim Schwartz. Here's the reason why. You have a defense that is one of the best in the league, and you got, call it for what it is, half of your team that is sitting there at the end of the season basically saying, don't get rid of this guy. Don't get rid of him then. Don't get rid of him then. Keep him. Now, this is the exciting part. Go find your sexy, hot, young, bright, brilliant offensive coordinator and let him run the offense. I feel better about a guy like Jim Schwartz running the whole thing. When you got the majority, again, half of your team, and I'm going to assume a lot of the guys on off, like Joe Bitonio talked good about Jim Schwartz. And when you just have this many guys, I know Joe Bitonio's not going to be here, but you get what I'm saying. You got such a big group of this team that's already in with Jim Schwartz. Half of the job is done. The buy-in from the team is one of the hardest things to do. You got a guy that's already got a leg up on everybody else. And if it just strictly comes back to you need to try to win games next year, you're going to have to win a lot of those games because of your defense. Keep it together. Just keep them together. And if he wants to call plays or not, it's up to Jim Schwartz. Somebody tweeted me this, and they go, he was in Detroit with Megatron, and you know they didn't do anything there. First off, that was a decade ago. Second off, they did make the playoffs when he was down there in Detroit. And thirdly, I really believe in coaches do a better job on their second go-around. Like, and I'm not going to we know what Belichick did. We know what Pete Carroll did on his second go-around. I know, you know, Patriots and then obviously college, and then he went to Seattle. But, like, even Andy Reid, as good as he was in Philadelphia, look what he's doing in Kansas City. I just think guys pick up so much. They just learn the experience. You cannot trade experience. Jim Schwartz is the guy. Jim Schwartz is the guy. And again, you want to make your big splash on the, please do. Please go hire Grant Udinski. Go hire Nate Shios. I'd love any one of those guys as OC, just not as head coach. So I'm going to go with Jim Schwartz there on the defensive side of things.
Alrighty, let's take the look at the big picture. I'll go first.
Okay.
I have Clint Kubiak as a coach of the Raiders, Jeff Hafley going to the Dolphins, Jesse Minter to the Titans, Robert Saleh to the Cardinals, Grant Udinski to our Cleveland Browns. We know Harbaugh is, in fact, the Giants' next head coach. Kevin Stefanski going down south to the Falcons, Cliff Kingsbury in Baltimore, and Chris Shula coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matt, your big board, go ahead.
All right, so I got Robert Saleh going to the Raiders. I've got Jesse Minter going with that Michigan tie to go down to Miami. I got Matt Nagy with the Borgonzi tie going to Tennessee. I've got Clint Kubiak going down the coast there to Arizona. I've got Jim Schwartz for the Browns. Again, we know Harbaugh. We both had Stefanski going to the Falcons. We both had Cliff Kingsbury going to the Ravens, and we both had Chris Shula going to the Steelers. So here's the thing. We both had Saleh. We both had Kubiak, Stefanski, Kingsbury, which is a little out of the way, Minter, Shula.
We had
the only differences were you had Udinski for the Browns, I had Schwartz, and then you didn't have Matt Nagy anywhere.
Right, I had Jeff Hafley.
Jeff Hafley, that's
but
right.
Four
that's
matches for us, Matt, and a lot of just mix and matches.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like this list of the five, I think we hit the five. Like Jesse Minter's getting a head coaching job. Kevin Stefanski's getting a head coaching job. Chris Shula's getting a head coaching job. We put Kingsbury in there. I don't think that's a slam dunk. I just think it's a good fit.
I would say Kubiak's up there as a
I think Kubiak's getting a job, and I think Kevin Stefanski's getting a job. No question about it. So, again, in a couple weeks, we'll have to revisit this and see how it goes. We don't have to wait that long for a parlay. Come on now. This is the last time we get four. Last time we get four. We better hit it. Our backs are against the wall with FanDuel. We'll reveal our parlay next.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
All right, here we go. Our FanDuel parlay. Divisional round edition here. 4 games for it, and we got it presented by our great friends at FanDuel. I'm Matt Fontana. He's Ryan Tyler. Get betting with our friends at FanDuel. The live is where it's at. The pick your way for the parlays. I love getting the boost tokens. I don't say this enough. Thank you to anybody that's been betting with FanDuel with us along this season. You can always sign up, FanDuel.com/bigplay. That is FanDuel.com/bigplay. Jump on the parlays. Cavs are rolling, Jackets, college basketball. We got it all for you, but NFL playoff weekend. We're going to be slinging some parlays this weekend and having some fun. As always, bet responsibly. I bet $5 parlays. I bet $10 parlays. Keep it safe out there as we bet with our friends at FanDuel. But the live, you watch the game and you there's a big spread. We'll get to the 7-point spread. Between the Seahawks and the 49ers, you go, maybe you like the Seahawks, but you don't like them at 7. Maybe you wait till the game kicks off. You hope the 49ers go down and kick a field goal, drops to 4.5, and you jump on it right there with the live. And there's some boost tokens that you will get on FanDuel that are just for live bets. I do that sometimes on hockey too. I love the over. Like if you watch the first couple shifts and a guy's like really shooting the puck, jump on there and grab some over on his shots or things like that. FanDuel, bet along with us, FanDuel.com/bigplay. It's the best. Live player props, the team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all there. It's fast. It's fun. It's FanDuel. And your live bets can move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding the momentum or fading the hype, FanDuel puts you right in the middle of every moment and all the action. Must be 21 and over, present in select states, or 18 and over, present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. A paid endorsement. We got to fly. Let's go. We start.
Let's get divisional.
It's too much. It's too much. Way too much. Way too much. I'll take the 49ers plus the 7. I sneakily like them to win this game, too. I know the Kittle injury. That's going to hurt them. Seattle with a week off. Are they really prepared for that? The match is going to be San Francisco's offense versus that Seattle defense, which are just absolute tanks. They're so good. They know Sam Darnold, though. Too much. 7 49ers.
Alrighty, we move on to the AFC side of things.
Oh,
Listen,
you did it to me
I
right
know.
now.
People aren't going to like this pick. I love Josh Allen, and it was hard to bet against him against
All right.
Jacksonville. He put on his Superman
All
cape, got
right.
it done. And it's funny because you saw Jacksonville go into Mile High and beat them, but I think it's a league all about matchups. We know that. I think Denver's defense is going to get all after Josh Allen. He's hurt. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah.
He will not be going into this game 100%. They're going to get after Buffalo, leading the NFL in sacks. As good as Josh Allen is, I just think this one is a little too hard to get over the hump there and put on his Superman cape. I think the Broncos got a little more kryptonite than the Jaguars do. I think they go ahead and win this one, so I'll take them -1.5.
I got to ride with you. I believe you, brother. All right, we're on it. Next up here, I think, Houston beat up on a really bad Steelers team that just didn't deserve to make it. I'm going to buy some of the cold on this. I'm going to buy that they're going up to Gillette. Drake May, man. The Patriots seem to be a team of destiny in this. They had a challenge. They're good here. And again, it's like Houston, Nico Collins, is he in a clear concussion protocol for this game? Woody Marks, I don't know how well they can run the ball with him. I didn't really like what I saw in that game against the Steelers. They beat up on a really bad Steelers team. I'll ride the momentum here. Give me the Patriots -3 at home.
All right, let's end it going back to the NFC, Matt. I'm just taking a money line here because that's what we do when we need to see one of these things go through. Matt, I'm taking the Rams to get the win in Chicago. Don't love what I've seen from the Bears. Yes, that fourth quarter magic, 25 points, was crazy. But listen, they slept walk to end the regular season against the Detroit Lions until the fourth quarter. They did the same thing against the Packers. I think the Rams and Stafford are too good of a team to do that again 3 times in a row and expect to win. Give me the new MVP and Matt Stafford, likely to go ahead and go back to the NFC Championship game.
It's hard to look at that Panthers game and not talk about, the Rams defense, because they do have a good defense, but the Panthers kind of carved them up a little bit. I love the play of the Rams. I feel like the Rams are just this team of destiny this year. I don't know if I necessarily have one in the AFC. I feel strongly about the 49ers too. I just want a 49ers. Do you not want a 49ers-Rams NFC Championship game? I do. So let's ride. What do we got for the payout? $970, a little lower than we normally do. Hey, hey man, we need to see one go through. We need to see one go through. So there you got it. You got it, dog. Couple of favorites. We love it. Bet with our friends at FanDuel.com/bigplay. All right, we got to touch on some Cavs. We'll get to the grid. It's all coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back, Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Catch us Thursdays at 7, Fridays at 4 on The Rock. Cavs, why do we just keep getting hurt? Sam Merrill got hurt again. Darius Garland got hurt again. What do you make of the DeAndre Hunter? I want to trade, but then I don't, and then he comes out and actually has a solid game against Philly. Listen, there's not much the Cavs can do with the apron. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything. Like, you got to listen to Wendy, listen to the smart people in the NBA. I just was assuming they can't make any trades. And then I see people in the trade machine go, no, you can do this and do that. That thing's too complicated for me. But the question is, right now, you got to make an answer. You got to give me an answer on this. Do the Cavs need to make a trade?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
I don't think so either. They just need to play right. They just need to get right. They just need to get right. And for us, we're all like, don't worry about the regular season. Don't worry about that. The injuries scare me. Just get guys back. You get DeAndre Hunter back to the DeAndre Hunter that you hoped him to be. And I see glimpses. I see it. Jared Allen, I see it from time to time. I just think you need to figure out what you got with this team. Let's not get all crazy on trades and things like that. And again, there are games they go out and they look good. And you go, there they are. That's the team that I need. And as long as they show up in a couple of months, that's all I ask. We need to show up. We're 0 for 1 in 2026. Can't have that. The grid comes your way next. All right, here we go. I said I was keeping count in 2026. We're 0 for 1 on the grid. If we finish above 500, it's dinner on me. Oh, let's go. Immaculate grid here.
All right, only one team.
Right,
that should be
easy.
pretty easy
Okay.
to knock out. Remember, we don't go for score here. We're not that
Correct.
good.
We're not that good. For now.
Yeah.
For now. Camler.
All
right. What's screaming right there?
Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's definitely on the Bengals.
Yes. Is that not... Why is Calais Campbell keep...
That also is Jalen Ramsey.
But wait. Oh, no.
he doesn't
Jalen
work.
Ramsey doesn't work for the... Yeah, you're right. Jalen Ramsey's fine. And then
Something's
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. Look at us. Good
We
start.
screwed up Calvin Ridley the other day.
Okay. And
Yeah. Okay.
Is-
Kevin Zeitler. Okay.
what's
Odell Beckham
yeah.
Jr. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Could we do this?
Oh
very
my
fast?
God.
And Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. We're back to 500, baby.
That's like
That
a
is
record speed run.
That is a record speed run for us.
We needed it.
We needed it bad. We're back right after this. Welcome back. Appreciate everybody joining us this week. Always catch the replay on YouTube at Big Play. And if you can, we don't do this often, but like, please subscribe. We have a lot of great content. We have a new app out, by the way. New relative of like Dave just works his rear end off to update this and fix it. So download it free. You can watch Roku. You can watch any of our shows at any time on our Big Play app, or check us out. Drop us a follow if you can on our Twitter. It's at Matt Fontana Show. Ryan is at Ryan Tyler 33. I'm at Matt Fontana 83. We're on Instagram as well. Drop us a follow. We're everywhere that you need. Final thing for you, Ryan. By the time we do our show next week, will the Browns have a head coach? Thursday. We record Thursday morning.
I think they will. I do think they will.
I think they will, too.
Harbaugh domino starts to fall and everything else comes into place.
They're not waiting for many guys that are in the playoffs, too, by the way. And you'll have another wave of guys that come out of the playoffs after this. I don't think they're really waiting for anybody. I think you will have a head coach by the next time we do the show next Thursday. So appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. And as always, take it easy.